Hi Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your Mercury retrograde reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be located in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from your body like storm clouds. Feeling yourself become calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let's let the bulls sing as we hear what the tarot has to say. How will Virgo be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Virgo be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Virgo be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. And let's see what your chakra energy is for this time. Virgo. How will Virgo be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Virgo be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Virgo be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. All right. These three just stuck right to my hand, so I love that they are letting themselves be known so readily. So we're starting with truth, and I love that this is the third chakra, because Mercury retrograde is all about the muddling of communications. During this time for you, Virgo, staying to your truth and sticking to your truth and not letting your truth be muddled is going to be so important for you. It's a balancing of the scales of passion and emotion to a place of honesty and openness with yourself. So kind of the saying, the truth will set you free, is going to be very much words to live by during this time. It's not getting into arguments, though, with people when they don't see the world like you. It's sitting there and saying, this is me. This is who I am, and this is the power that I possess. And I love me for that. And I move forward in that power and in that grace. And that's really going to balance the scales for you. It's also going to help when when the waters get muddied, there we go, and things seem to be topsy-turvy. If you stay to your truth, you stay to the passion that is such a part of you, it really does lift you up above what you had expected and above the chaos that can be raging around you at times. Then we have visualization. This is the third eye chakra. And there is a sense here of your eyes opening up, especially your third eye. You're seeing things so much more clearly. And there is a sense of visualization really helping develop your skills, moving you forward, embracing your passion, embracing what you desire from life. And there is a sense here as you look at what it is that you want, as you focus, visualize. And there's a difference between visualization and just simply daydreaming. Dreams are meant to be put back on a shelf and hidden away. Visualization is seeing yourself fully, openly, and honestly walk that path. Be that long shot. Be that person who wins the goal. And there's a power in that visualization, because as you are visualizing it and as you're seeing it so really open, so truthfully open within your third eye, you are going to see yourself facing the fears that are holding you back, facing the doubts that make you think, oh, I can't do this. And as you claim your passion, you claim your power, you claim your truth, you move forward in this opened honestness of who you are and where you're headed. And then we have creativity, the sacral chakra. This is where a lot of negativity from this life and past lives are held. And what I'm feeling right now from Spirit is that this is where a lot of the miscommunications come from. They come from a lot of the scars that we carry, a lot of the scars that we've inherited within our DNA line, that we've accumulated just from living, and that have come to us from our past lives. And so as we face these scars and we let this creative energy flow through us, we can see ourselves creating a new doorway forward, a new place to where it is that we want to be, because we're releasing a lot of the old anger, upsets, and upheavals that were holding us back before. And there's a creative energy, bliss, triumph that moves you forward. And it can be, just like it was slipping out of my fingers there, it can be a little bit slippery. It can be, kind of pushing you in a direction that you hadn't expected or that you might not feel comfortable with. But it is part of your truth. So you have to visualize. You have to see yourself. And I know have to is a strong phrase to use, but it's needing to visualize and see yourself moving forward in that openness, in that honesty, and in that place that you are to be, body, mind, and spirit. So let's move on to the tarot. The left-hand side, this is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side is the public arena, your public self. So you are crowned with the moon, facing fears. There's going to be a lot of that during this Mercury retrograde, a facing of fears, a looking at the shadows, a not being held back in the darkness and in doubt or despair. But it can be easier to kind of stay in fear, because it usually is. It's easier for us to say, oh no, I can't, instead of, no, this is not getting the best of me. And so once you face these fears, you move forward in power, you move forward in understanding, and you see the Two of Pentacles. There's a lot that you're balancing during this time. There's a lot that you are coming to terms with, that you're moving forward with, that you're seeing in a new light, in a new way, and in a new desire. And so as you're looking at all of this, as you're facing fears and you're moving forward to where you need to be, body, mind, and spirit, you are seeing yourself evolve, but you also need to see that you need to take time for you to focus on what you want, because there's a change coming in. You have the Tower right here. And it is a change that divinity will not let you ignore. It is a change that pushes you out of your comfort zone. And it leads you right here to the devil. And the devil is saying, you are going to face your fears. You're going to face your addictions. You're going to face doubts and despairs and heartbreaks and pains and disappointments. And they're going to come at you head on. It doesn't mean that you're going to be tempted, though it can for some, but it does mean that we're going to be looking at life a lot more openly, a lot more honestly, and seeing what is keeping us off balance to really get us to where we need to be. And it might not be something that we're entirely comfortable with, but it is something that is astoundingly powerful. So this is a Mercury retrograde well spent for you. We have the Seven of Pentacles, patience. Your heart is saying, be patient. You're going to want things to have happened yesterday, as we human beings always do. The sooner, the better, but not necessarily. Divine timing is so much more powerful and so much more profound than we could have imagined it would be. It leads you to the King of Pentacles. Once you find your footing, you become a king, all right? You are more seen than maybe at times you are comfortable with. But there is also a power, a purpose, a dedication to your heart and your soul, and you step into that power. The King of Pentacles represents you in the Minor Arcana. You are represented by the Pentacles, In the major arcana, you are represented by the Hermit. And so once you claim your kingliness, and once you move forward in your truth and you have that Midas touch about you, there is a sense of walking away from what you once thought you would love, not being held back any longer. And it leads you to the Queen of Cups. It leads you to a coming and a healing of the heart, a coming together with your emotional self, with your truth, with your understanding. And this brings you to the Ten of Cups. In the public arena, it brings you to they all live happily ever after. Prosperity, bounty, brilliance, and truth. It's my favorite card in the minor arcana. And then we have the Ace of Swords, God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing you a gift of knowledge that cuts through doubts and fears, that has you move forward in openness and honor for yourself. And I don't know yet if you take this gift, but it definitely is permeating every single aspect of yourself during this time. And then, of course, you do in a profound and powerful way. As the King of Swords, you slay the dragons. You slay the monsters that have been holding you back, that have been hoarding the wealth, the power, the prosperity, the bounty, the beauty that you want within your life. And it moves you to the Queen of Swords in the public arena, which might seem kind of out of character for you, but you are very much embracing the warrior, king, and queen. You will not be held back. You will not be kept silent. This is a time where, yes, conversations, communication gets muddled, right? But you have the King and Queen of Swords right here in the public arena. You will not be bossed around. You will not be pushed around. And you will be moving forward in your truth, in your power, and in your prosperity. And why I say this is out of character for you at times is because you're more of a peacemaker. You're a caretaker. You're a person to steady the waters. And so here, with this gift of conviction that is coming your way, and you taking it so powerfully, you're breaking a mold and you're moving forward in quite a powerful direction, and not letting yourself be held back at all. So let's see here. Let's see the people who will be aiding you during this time. Who are the people who will be aiding Virgo during Mercury retrograde, October 14th to November 3rd, 2020? Who are the people who will be aiding Virgo, October 14th to November 3rd, 2020? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. So we start here with the Prince of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You're going to be very connected with air sign energy during this time. This sense of moving forward, of cutting through doubts and fears, of not taking other people's bull, of, knowing your mind, what you desire, and where it is that you need to be and what it is that you stand for. So you really are moving forward in that truth, in that passion, in that conviction. And this person here who is helping you, this person who is seeing things along the same lines as you are, they're not going to be exactly the same, is moving forward in passion, power, and a ferocity of spirit. Now, this is going to be moving forward more quickly than you are used to, as, you are represented by the Prince of Pentacles, by the Knight of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and that's the slowest moving knight. The Prince of Swords, the Knight of Swords, is the fastest moving knight. So this person is going to be moving forward a lot more quickly than maybe you are comfortable with, but because of the knowledge that is coming to you and the way that you are interacting with people in the public arena, there is a sense that you can more than easily and readily keep up with them and move forward in this truth. Just don't get knocked off of the path that you are building, the path that you want for yourself. Because this person, who you don't have to know in real life, can be promising something or saying something that sounds too good to be true. Also know that some things are simply suggestions and, guidelines. Don't take everything as gospel, everything as absolute truth. There are going to be ways that you are moving forward that are going to be quite different than others, and you're releasing a lot of the negativity that others hold. Then you have the Princess of Pentacles. This is somebody who looks at things quite differently, who is taking in information. This is both with the Prince and with the Princess. These are both younger energies, so this can be a very youthful person or a person with a very youthful energy to them. And they are showing you a path that you hadn't anticipated, that you hadn't expected for yourself, opening up ideas, letting you see things more openly, more truthfully. And they're asking questions, and they ask these questions and they worry about them themselves. They look at them more as deep inquiries for their souls. So what they're placing forward for you, Virgo, is going to be something that you very much connect to as an earth sign energy. You connect to other earth sign energies. But there is a sense here of curiosity coming forward with it, making you think kind of outside of the box. And then it leads you to the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, passion, fire, beauty, truth. And this is a person who isn't afraid to roll up their sleeves. This is a person who shows the spark, like, the reason why you get out of bed in the morning, shows the spark of your creative, passionate, beautiful self, and really helps feed that barn fire. And moves you forward to claim an independence within you, claiming a truth that might seem a little bit skittish, might seem like, oh, well, that's a little bit too big for me to do. But it's not. It's a powerful brilliance that you are stepping forward in. There's a lot of fear when it comes to your inner self during this time, because there's a lot of power when we look at your public arena. And what I'm seeing here is that you are embracing this power, but you are also looking at a lot of things that have shaped you, that have made you fall apart, that have made you rebuild, stronger and better than before. But at times you feel a bit more broken, than you have. And the moon here, it sets everything flying, as we just saw, sets doubts and fears coming forward, makes you look at things more openly, more honestly for yourself. And there is a sense here of a fidgeting energy around you. It's kind of like, I don't feel as calm, as centered as I would like to. With the moon, we face our fears. With the moon, we look at things and say, fear is a part of our lives, ourselves, and the direction that we are heading. But it is not what has to define us all the time. Yes, I'm going to be afraid, but it's feel the fear and do it anyway. It's not letting that fear be the main voice within your life, within your soul, within yourself. And that's going to be a really big step, because it's a big step for anyone. When we look at what we fear, when we look at what we doubt, and we say, no, you don't get to rule me. And then when we look at that and we see that by facing our fears, by looking at our doubts, by looking at our apprehensions, we can rise above. We can move forward in a way that we hadn't expected. We can claim a power we thought may have been denied to us because the fear was too strong. And then when we start to see that fear is not the defining factor of our souls and ourselves, we step forward in our power and in our grace. And then there's going to be a sense of balancing a lot during this time. You want everything to be harmonized. You want yourself to be able to move forward in grace, in harmony, in abundance. You have the fear and you have the assurity, the confidence that you might be trying to balance the day and the night, the doubts and the assurities, the sense of truth and the sense of doubt. And there can be a myriad of things that you are balancing within yourself, but it can also be what you are balancing for everybody around you. You can be balancing, what others are afraid of and the truth that you want to stand in. And what you're doing is you're balancing so much, even though it's the Two of Pentacles, right? We only have 2 pentacles, but it means so much to you. It shows prosperity. It shows a way forward, but you're forgetting to balance yourself. And if you forget to balance yourself, okay, the tower time that you will be going through during this time, and the tower time is a time of profound change. It pushes you out of your comfort zone. It has you seeing things so much more deeply, so much more honestly, in a way that you might not feel comfortable with. You might think, oh, wow, this isn't where I want to be, or this isn't what I desire. Our tower times make us look at things. And our tower times do not have to be the times that rock the world, because, they can feel the quake of it all. They can be very small and very subtle, but they have us looking at our life, our truth, and ourselves so much differently, so much more profoundly, so much more truthfully than we were before. And this is divinity pushing us out of our comfort zone and saying, listen, if you stay here, you will stay small your whole entire life. And these can be really painful moments to have to go through. These can be really jarring, intense moments, or decades. I mean, up to and surpassing 16 years can be a tower time. And you might sit there and say, okay, well, 16 years, the tower is card number 16, so it should last 16 years. But then now another tower time can come that lasts another 16 years. And it can be one time after another where you're sitting there, kind of jaw on the floor, and you're looking at things and you're saying, how am I not supposed to fear? And how am I supposed to be balanced if my world keeps falling apart? And during this Mercury retrograde, where things get mumbled and jumbled, you might be thinking there is no coming out of this. But because things are being mumbled and jumbled, because everything is not as it seems, it is a time to face fears, doubts, and apprehensions. Because it is a time where those things seem to be more at the forefront. And everybody is facing it, so why not? Why not, break down the barriers? And with this tower time, you're going to see that the place that you are supposed to stand is not the place that you had always envisioned standing. It's not a truth that you may have always thought that you would embrace, but it is a truth that is right for you. And it has you looking at the devil. And the devil card is not necessarily a bad thing. The devil can be an interpretation of, earth gods or goddesses, usually gods, during, the incorporation of Christianity into other places. And so it can be simple chaos, neither good nor bad, but just the energy of creation. But what I'm looking at here when I'm seeing the devil, it is a sense of being, again, you're taken out of your comfort zone. And you're seeing the patterns that we fall into as human beings. We have these patterns. And there are coping mechanisms. There are a way of protecting ourselves. Now, this is looking at our addictions. Our addictions can very well be, drugs, alcohol, and gambling, which are the traditional addictions. It could then, transform into, sex and food and shopping, which are other addictions that there are support groups for. But it can also be a doubting of yourself. It could be thinking that your voice doesn't matter. Okay? It could be sacrificing yourself for everybody else. It can be a myriad of different things that we do to sit there and say, okay, I'm just going to get through this. I'm just going to keep on moving forward. But we're not thriving. We're just existing. And life is meant to have beauty in it. It's meant to have moments where we thrive. Yes, it is meant to have moments where we doubt and we fear and we feel overwhelmed. But here, with the devil, we are being pushed out, again, of our comfort zone. We are facing things that we would rather not face. We would rather have put on a shelf and kept away. We are looking at ourselves openly and honestly. We are seeing things that maybe we don't like about ourselves, but that have to be faced. And as you do so, you are really going to be questioning, Virgo, a foundational sense of self. But you're also going to be looking at what the world says you should be, what the world says you should want, what you should have. And you're going to be saying, no, that is not where I stand. And the devil gives you the strength to say, this is my truth. Because then it becomes the time where you break the chains that have bound you. You break the ideas and the ideals that others have placed upon you or that you have accepted as your own truth. But that isn't. And I do apologize if you can hear my dogs. But this is a sense of you embracing yourself, your soul, your power, and your understanding, and moving forward in that truth. And it is a topsy-turvy way of seeing things, but this will be a topsy-turvy time. And as you see this within your heart, you need to have patience for yourself and with yourself. You need to have patience that says, okay, you know what? It isn't going to be the way that I expected. This is not me moving forward in my time, though we would so love it to be. It is me moving forward in divine timing. Your heart is sitting there and saying, I know there is wealth, there is beauty, and there is prosperity out there for me. I know there is a path forward. And I'm not being tempted, out of my truth. I'm not being scared out of my truth. I'm not being overwhelmed out of my truth. I'm not, having change come in so quickly and so fast that I cannot see my truth. But I am moving forward in a divine timing of grace, power, and purpose towards where I stand and what I need. And as I do this, I embrace myself. As I do this, I move forward towards what is more for me and what is greater for me. And I know that we all want things to happen yesterday. And this is why Spirit is saying it's divine timing that is so important for us. It's divine timing that sets us apart. And so kind of letting go within your heart, within your soul, within yourself, and not beating yourself up. Because Virgo, we all have it. We all have our timelines. We all say, by this age, I will be this, and by this age, I will be that. And when it doesn't happen, we start to panic. Or when we've achieved these goals, then we pat ourselves on the back, but then it doesn't work out the way that we expected. We panic. We get mad at ourselves. There is a Midas touch for you during this time. As you embrace your heart, as you embrace your soul, as you embrace yourself. You have Midas here as the King of Pentacles. And as you are embracing your prosperity, you're seeing that there's a goldenness to the way that you are planting the seeds for your future, the way that you are moving yourself forward. There is a beauty, there is a connection, there is a brilliance. And during this time, within your heart, you are looking at things very practically, because that's going to be kind of a comfort zone thing, but it's also going to be as you embrace yourself. It's needing practical plans. It's needing your feet firmly planted on the ground. But as you look at your feet firmly planted on the ground, you look at the seeds that you want to plant within your life, within yourself, and within what you desire. Because as you are looking at things more openly and more honestly, as you are facing a truth that sometimes can be hard to understand and hard to really see, you are looking and saying, what do I want my life to have in it? What is it that I want from my garden? Okay? Because if you look at our minds and our souls and our bodies and ourselves as gardens, with the thoughts to be planted, with the prosperity to be planted and nurtured and grown, this is what you're doing here. And you're finding that you're seeing connections to things that you hadn't normally seen the connections to. And it can be because the world is just a little bit topsy-turvy and not looking at things the same way. It then leads you to the Eight of Cups. As you're looking at things, as you're seeing the connections, as you're moving yourself forward, you're walking away from what you once thought you would love. You're saying to yourself, but I don't. I don't love that. I don't want to be there anymore. That isn't for me. And as you walk away from what you once thought you would love, you walk into a power, a beauty, and an understanding that you need to have. It could be taking a leap of faith on yourself. I mean, it's after this tower time that your heart says, no, I just can't be this. It could be trying to be somebody that you're not. It could be being what the world expects of you. And it could even be that you said to yourself, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give up on my dream and on me. And I'm going to be what the world expects and fit myself into that mold. And your heart is saying, I just can't. And during this time, your heart is having such a conversation with you. And it needs itself to be known. You need to embrace the essence of you, the beauty and the truth of you. Because as you do so, you find yourself walking in a path that is so much more, as Spirit is saying, righteously you and righteously yours. It's like, this is my truth and this is what I was born for. And as I embrace it, I embrace me. And I really do think that our world and our lives, it is spent figuring out who we're not. And as we figure out who we're not, we figure out who we are. It's not always something that we know instantaneously. It is something that we discover. And don't be afraid of that discovery, even though at times it can be so tremendously painful. And it leads you to it leads you to the Queen of Cups. It leads you to healing. It leads you to an embracing of love. It leads you to a moving forward in grace and in honor and in understanding and a saying, I claim my heart, because the Queen of Cups is the queen of your heart. Now, during this time frame of Mercury retrograde is from Libra to Scorpio. So you have the King and Queen representing Libra, and you have the Queen representing Scorpio. So this is going to be a very powerful time for you. It's going to be a time where, yes, you embrace your heart, your soul, your passion, yourself, what you desire. And you also embrace the mind. So your heart and your mind have to communicate. Because a lot of times we sit there and we think, I can either be a logical being or I can be an emotional being, but I can't be both. And if we are too emotional, right, things kind of tend to fall into chaos. And if we are too logical, things become cold and distant and don't have the same depth of meaning or feeling to them. I believe that we are emotional beings. And as emotional beings, we have to talk to ourselves with our logical sense, coming forward and saying, how can I have it that my emotions shine? How can I have it that my heart stays true to me? I do not compromise or, degenerate the gifts that are given to me by what the world expects. And so here we have that conversation. And during this time for you, Virgo, that conversation is going to be so important because it's what's leading you to your happily ever after. It's what's leading you on a voyage, excuse me, and a way forward that you hadn't expected and hadn't anticipated for yourself. We tend to think that either we get things exactly as we envision them, as the happily ever after that the rest of the world wants us to have, or we do not get that happily ever after at all. There are some that rage against it and say, no, this is my truth and this is how I move forward. But a lot of times we have anger in our hearts when we come to things as that. And in that way, it's like, no, I will show you. It's like, no, let yourself discover. Let yourself move forward in a peace and in a truth and in an honor and in a dignity of soul and essence. Because as you claim your happily ever after, as you claim this brilliance, it evolves you and it moves you in a grace and in a beauty that you hadn't anticipated and you hadn't expected. It's sitting there and saying that, wishes do come true. And beauty can be a part of life. And the heart embraces the mind, and the mind embraces the heart. There's a truth that God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing to you during this time. And just as your chakra cards have stated, truth is astoundingly important to you. And as you cut through doubts and fears, as you embrace this truth, this passion, and this brilliance, you find yourself opening to your heart and your soul and your mind. You find yourself becoming so much more. And as you embrace this truth, you embrace you. This is a clarity of mind. This is a brilliance of spirit. This is an understanding of what you desire. And this is a sense of things being more. And then, as you have these feelings coming in, and you have these blessings coming in, you have a soulmate connection here. You have a true love connection in the public arena, right? When it comes to your mind, when it comes to the power of your words, you are slaying dragons, and you are moving forward, unafraid, well-armed. For Spirit is saying the hunt ahead, the hunt for what you truly love, what you want, what you desire from your life, where you need to be. You've slayed the dragons. Dragons are what guard our treasures, what hoard away our blessings. And we slay that dragon. We slay that giant snake, which is why they believe that we have such good eyesight, right? We're supposed to be on the lookout for snakes, our deadly predators, our deadly enemies, because they could slither up and bite your ankle, and that would be it. Back when we were hunters and gatherers. And so here you are looking at what you truly want from life, and you are destroying, quite literally, what has kept you from your dreams. And it doesn't mean that you are going out to people and you're saying, oh, you kept me, or anything like that. It means that you're destroying the doubts inside that kept you small. And now you are a warrior in your truth. You are seen, most definitely. And you are also behind the scenes. So you feel very comfortable in both worlds. And as you embracing this beauty of understanding, you have a repeat of the queens. And you're not going to take anybody's nonsense. And you have a repeat of the kings. So during this time, you have a sense of, yes, you are most definitely, moving forward in power, especially since you are represented yourself as a king. You're moving forward in power and understanding of cutting through doubt, cutting through fear, saying, this is who I am and this is what I want. And then the queens saying, this is what I desire for my life. And I do not need everybody to focus on me in order for me to get there. So there is this beautiful balance, and it can feel almost at times not like a beautiful balance, like you're warring with yourself, but you are moving forward in a truth that others usually overlook. And it's going to work for you during this time here, Virgo, because it's letting your message be known, and it's embracing a power that really does bless you. So let's go deeper. How will Virgo be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Virgo be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Virgo be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels, and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. And then let's see the people that you are to be mindful of during this time. Who are the people that Virgo is to be mindful of during Mercury retrograde, October 14th to November 3rd, 2020? Who are the people that Virgo is to be mindful of during Mercury retrograde, October 14th to November 3rd, 2020? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. We have here Aquarius energy. This is a time frame of January 20th to February 18th. This is a person who pours forth the waters, okay? So you have to be mindful of this person because their emotional energy and their cognitive energy, their mental energy touches you. It's like you embrace it some way, but they are on their own journey, okay? And they can be too caught up in what they see as injustices, doubts, fears, angers, and it could be too easy, especially for you emotionally here within your personal self, to kind of take this in and make this world of the Aquarius a part of your world so impactfully and so strongly. It then moves you to the Queen of Swords. So you have a very positive Queen of Swords, and you have a negative Queen of Swords. This is somebody who's aloof. This is somebody who is going to be a bit of a viper with their words, kind of stinging, cutting, going right for the jugular and making what they want known. They also are watchers. They see how to puzzle everything together. And as they put everything together, they kind of come at things very sneakily. But what's going to be funny is because you have the King and the Queen on your side during this time, this energy is a part of you, you're going to be able to see what they're doing. And you can be just as much a snake in the grass as they can be. So you can kind of give it as well as you get it, which is going to be very nice. And then you have the Hierophant, the High Priest here. This is a Taurus energy, April 20th to May 20th. This is somebody who's going to be very bullheaded, very stubborn, very much believes that their way of seeing things is the right way of seeing things. If you disagree, they don't care. They do not care, and they will keep on moving forward in their truth, in the way that they want things and the way that they are seeing things for themselves. So just know that energy, because it is an earth sign energy, you'll be able to relate to it kind of very easily. That stubbornness, that determination can really pull you in, and all of a sudden you could be moving down their path and not your path. So we have the Two of Swords over the Moon and over the Two of Pentacles. And this is a sense of seeing another pathway open up than you had expected. And as you do so, you have a positive now Hierophant over the Tower. All right, so you have a negative Hierophant and you have a positive Hierophant. And this could be why the energy relates so well, as Spirit was showing before. This is a sense of listening to your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, your truth for yourself. And really seeing what has tumbled can be rebuilt and can be reformed into a truth, into a brilliance that is really so much a part of your soul and yourself. It then moves you to the Star. So you have a negative Aquarius, and now you have a very positive Aquarius moving forward. That moves you to the highest form of your perfection, to your greatest wish, and not the temptations of the devil, not the temptations of doubts, fears, angers, and addictions. It then moves you to the Ten of Cups, which you have in the public arena here. And the Ten of Cups over patience and over yourself as the King of Prosperity is saying you will live happily ever after. It just may not be the way that you had anticipated it. Let divinity take the wheel. It's not being passive. It's not saying, oh my goodness, I'll never make any decision, divinity will make it for me. No, it's sitting there and saying, all right, I'm going to start, embracing a connection with divinity through meditation, through prayer, through however you connect, through, starting to do the tarot yourself and seeing what divinity has to say to you, seeing the way you connect forward and moving you towards your heart's desire, your heart's wish. And as you embrace a path you didn't think you would walk, and as you have an ending that you are surprised that you embrace, it moves you to the Ten of Pentacles. It moves you to walking to a prosperity that will last for generations. And as you do so, and as you are a queen of your heart and of your emotions, you have the Six of Cups coming in, and you can be astoundingly nostalgic and think, oh, things were better once upon a time, or oh, I can't move forward this way because there are these doubts, these fears, these angers here. And you know what? You're leaving the past in the past. You're embracing a new cycle, a new truth. And then you have the Eight of Wands. As you take this gift of knowledge and as you move forward in your happily ever after, things start coming and changing quickly. It then moves you to the Knight of Cups, to a defender of your heart, to what you desire, and a king of your mind. And as you are embracing the king of your mind and the queen of your mind, as you have this soulmate connection coming in, and it can be, it can be the parts of your soul, the past life self, the present life self, that have known each other before and that are looking at the hurts, the trials, the tribulations, and saying, I can see a truth within me that I once denied. And then it moves you towards the sun. It moves you towards a happily ever after that is so beautiful and so, radiant. It is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. That is so radiant that it is joy for you, and it is joyful understanding. And others will take you by eyes, especially when it shines through in the public arena and you seem to have things really moving forward in your favor in a time where things are chaotic and, confused. They don't see what you're going through. They're only going to see what they want to see. And so here, don't let them steal away your joy, steal away your brilliance. There's a path that you hadn't expected coming forward. Okay, have your mind open to it. Do not think it can only be one of two ways. Stay true to yourself. With the Hierophant, this is the Pope in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and quite frankly, it's the Pope here, So the Pope was once the King of Kings, could tell kings what to do. And so here, you are being the King of Kings within yourself, having that power, having that brilliance, having that radiant understanding, and staying true to your traditional self, to what you desire most. And it leads you towards the highest form of your perfection. It leads you to striving towards more. It leads you to seeing brilliance and beauty within yourself and within what you desire. And as you do this, you start to embrace not only love, joy, and happiness within your heart, within your soul, within yourself, but also prosperity. Okay, this is wealth or something you value as much as money coming into your life, being a game changer, opening up the doors, leading you on a path that may not lead to an inheritance, okay? Which is what I would love to think of as the Ten of Pentacles. It's like, oh, an inheritance can be coming, wealth can be pouring in. But it can be a prosperity that lasts for generations, that has nothing to do with physical wealth. And it has everything to do with the emotional bounty that is around you, the light, the beauty, and the love that you are bringing to the world. And there's a sense here of being astoundingly nostalgic, being pulled to the past, or, doubting yourself. And that can also be a way of being nostalgic. It's like, oh no, I don't deserve this. Your heart is saying, oh yes, you do. Oh yes, you do. That is going to be something to be faced and overcome. Things are moving more quickly than you had anticipated. You can see that with the Eight of Wands. This is my Minor Arcana Tower card. You have the Major Arcana Tower time. This is a time of change, of upheavals, of things moving forward. And it is a time of you defending your heart and also slaying the dragons, knowing what it is that you desire and saying, this is my truth. And this is the truth that I walk in. And as you embrace this truth, the sun comes out. So yes, you have tower times. Yes, you have doubts. Yes, you have fears. Yes, you are facing a lot. But as you face it, the brilliance that comes from facing this truth, from, looking your soul dead in the eye and saying, I will not be held back. And there is a brilliance that we live in, that we are moving forward towards, is going to be exquisite for you, Virgo. And it's going to be a game changer. I love that. I love that because there's such power here. There is such power here as things change. And as you redefine a path of wealth. Because one of the things that I've learned, and it was through a study I was reading, it says that our baseline of happiness, okay? If we have enough money to pay all our bills, our happiness does not increase. Now, this is saying not like you live somewhere like super duper expensive and it's cost zillions of dollars, right? This is living a good life, but it could be considered a modest life. And that's $40,000. That's what you need to be able to pay your bills and be safe. That's the number they came up with. But anything more than that, any more money you accumulate, does not mean that you will be happier. It can actually mean that you have more worries. So here, it is knowing that you don't need to live like a Rockefeller or like a Kardashian. It is being contented and modest and powerful. Because then the beauty of happiness starts coming in. And that is something that no amount of money can buy. And that is something that is really going to set you apart from the rest, Virgo, in a powerful and in a beautiful way. And you have been through so much. This is what you deserve. Let's see what your spirit animal message is, Virgo. How will Virgo be affected by Mercury retrograde, October 14th to November 3rd, 2020? How will Virgo be affected by Mercury retrograde, October 14th to November 3rd, 2020? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Oh, I love it. Everything is 3. That's beautiful. I love the number 3. So we have the Rhino spirit. It says overcome any obstacles. And that's really what this time is for you. It is overcoming the obstacles set in your path. And it's seeing a true and wondrous strength to you. Then we have the Koi fish spirit. There is always enough. And that is something that we forget. There is always enough. There is always enough. Let us change the way that we are looking at things. Let us, move forward in a more open, honest, powerful way. Because there is always enough. And then we have the beaver spirit. Lay a solid foundation. Lay a solid foundation for you to build off of. Sometimes we think we have solid foundations, and there are foundations made of sand. And we see what we build fall apart and shift and change. And now it's laying a solid foundation because it is the foundation of your truth, of your passion, of what you desire. And that foundational understanding really does move you forward in a profound and brilliant way. So your subconscious spirit animal message is the porcupine spirit. Time for a beginner's mind. It is time to look at things anew. The beginner's mind, I always looked at this card when I first got the deck and for a while of using it. And I was like, this is terrible English. Why do all the other cards make sense? But it's time for a beginner's mind is Buddhist. And it is a sense of coming to things as a beginner, as a person who doesn't have the preconceived notions, the preconceived ideas, the preconceived everything else. It is looking at things kind of like with child's eyes and seeing them anew with wonderment and with understanding. So during this time, subconsciously, it's time to kind of wipe the slate clean and come to things as the beginner that we all are in this world. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles. This is you. This is your vibrational truth moving you forward. Prosperity, wealth, bounty, paying mind and paying attention to the seeds that you are planting and the way that you are moving forward. Your subconscious chakra message is flexibility, the sacral chakra. Opening yourself up to new ideas, kind of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, being more flexible, being more understanding as the world opens to you and as you open to it. You're seeing things more openly, more honestly, more truthfully for yourself. And it is moving forward with that change. Then we have the subconscious tarot message, which is the Knight of Cups. Moving forward in what you love, protecting what you love, what your heart holds true, slowly and steadily embracing the grace and the power of your emotions. It then leads you to your subconscious, to go deeper into your subconscious with the tarot. And it is the 5 of Wands. The Five of Wands is not falling into the same doubts, the same fears, the same chaos that has always been. It is looking at things. It is saying, no, no. I'm not here to doubt and fear and question myself. And you might find, I find this to be astoundingly hard to do. But it is a sense of knowing that there is wealth and there is beauty and there is passion and there is grace and there is power to your existence. And not waiting for the next shoe to drop. Because you are moving forward in a way that cannot be destroyed. All right, Virgo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we move forward in grace, in abundance, and in beauty well earned. It is the beauty of the soul and the passion of the heart and of the self. So let's take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Virgo.